Salvation is my best gift ever. You're the tree of life. I was lost, now I am found.
I sometimes ask myself tough questions concerning God and divine things. Some of the questions are very tough, and I myself cannot find solutions until I read the Word of God. Let's see one of them. First of all, sometimes you think about a sin you might have committed in the past, and you wonder whether that sin is not going to prevent you from entering heaven. When you think like that, you ask yourself such kind of questions, that means that you care, you are willing to do right when it comes to following the will of God. But we know, for example, from the Bible, many of the kings of Israel did what was wrong and they did not follow God. Therefore, they were punished over and over and over and over again. Why was that the case? It was the case because they had taken God for granted. God gave them power and they misused the power until they depart from God. Guess what? Payback was not present. It was destruction, total destruction, until 4, 5, 6, even 7 generations. Let's see. So, why people think and lie to God? People think and lie to God. Why? So I ask these questions. I ask myself this question and try to find an answer. Let's see. Number 1. So people lie to God because they don't know God. They don't know God. People think they know God, but in reality they don't. If you read the Bible, you understand the nature of God. You don't joke with God, trying to hide or lie. Imagine, as I said, many of the Israelite kings committed adultery. They did what was not good in the eyes of God. From Rehoboam, Solomon's son, you remember when Solomon died, his son Rehoboam replaced him. He did what was not pleasing God. The next king and next king and next king until Manasseh. Manasseh was the worst. If you remember, he even sacrificed his own son to Baal, to idols. Right? Remember? So why was that? Imagine if Josiah, it was until Josiah came to power that he changed everything, and of course, it was after they had discovered the book of laws. You remember? So when they discovered the book of laws, they started reading the laws to every people, and it was a law to read and understand the laws of God. Therefore, the people could get back to God. It happened. So Josiah brought people back to God in a way God was pleased with. But guess what? If Josiah would come back today, how would he feel? How would he compare the world today to that time when he was ruling? You see, it will be total sorrow and sadness. But again, that's why people think know God, but they don't. So Josiah, after reading that book of laws, he got to understand the nature of God. So, but today, if you read the Bible, knowing that not that many people read the Bible, so you understand the power of the law, the power of the Word of God, compared to today, where 99% of the people do not even read the Bible. So can you imagine? That's why people think know God, but in reality, they don't know God at all. Number 2, the physical against the divine. So people think what they see is right, but by doing wrong, they try to hide, because if, for example, you do something, nobody tells you anything, you think it's fine, but deep inside yourself, in your heart, you know it's wrong. So when you hide from others that what you're doing is wrong, you know inside yourself you cannot hide or lie to your heart, but you do so by hiding what you're doing wrong. And guess what? Are you going to hide from God as well? That's what you do. So once you hide in your heart, you think that you're hiding it from God as well, but you can't. Number 3, lying to yourself because you do not see direct consequence. So you do wrong, you do stuff left and right, but because you're not caught, because there's no direct consequence, you think it's fine. You are lying to yourself, and of course you are trying to lie to God because you are not brought to justice right away. Judgment day has not arrived yet. It's not now, but it's somewhere in the future, and it's gonna be for eternity. Change. Number 4, so many people try to lie to God because they confuse richness with righteousness. Richness is not righteousness, as many people confuse these two. So people think if somebody is rich, is automatically or directly righteous, which is wrong. So therefore, they misuse their richness, the wealth they have, to do what's wrong. And of course, people will not call them up because they think that their richness, the wealth, give them power to sin. So this is where people are mistaken by confusing richness with righteousness. Therefore, they are lying to themselves, they are deceived because this richness can be used to buy them out, even though they think they are saved. We know this to be a fact because, check, how many pastors are bought and deceived and follow the ways of the devil. Number 5, the lie that is ruling the world and has become the truth. So people are born every day, and here we are under the rulership of a universal lie that has taken hostage over the world for decades, if not millennium. So the lie that has taken over the world is now considered to be the truth, which is deceiving so many because nobody knows the truth, because the truth is nowhere to be found. But if you seek with all your heart, mind, and strength, you shall find the truth. And that truth, once you taste that truth, you don't look back. You continue and fight to remain in the truth till our Savior Yeshua Mashiach returns. Number 6, people do not read the word of God themselves, therefore they cannot understand the consequence or the impact or the wrath of God when time comes. So if you take the word of God, you read it for yourself, and you hear over and over again how God used to punish people, the consequence that follow our acts and actions, you will start having reverence for God because you now understand, wow, there's no joke with God. When you understand that there's no joke with God, you behave, you follow the ways of God, therefore, you will never be deceived because you know what the word of God tells you not to do, and you are not going to do it because you know. So lack of knowledge causes what? Distraction. That's why people think, can lie to God because they don't know. They don't know. They don't read the Word of God. If you read the Word of God and you know, of course, you're not going even to try, dare lie to God because you know the consequence and the penalty is heavy. The last but not the least, having fun is human nature by saying that God is not seeing me. So you are enjoying yourself in this world and doing what you wanna because you think somehow, even though you may know that God is almighty and is watching you omnipresent, but still you will somehow be blinded that God is not watching you. That's why people are kind of programmed that God is not watching, because they see judgment as even impossible. If you knew that judgment is possible and is very near, you would not follow the devil. So here we are in a deceived world that has programmed people to think that even though they face consequence, it's going to be somewhere in eternity, not now. So now people are going to do what's wrong and try to cover up. But once you are gone and saved, it's over. Game over. So it's better to do it now, put it right with God right now while you still can die, because when you die, you cannot get back to the right position with God because it will be too late. Thank you very much for watching. May God bless you. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Salvation is my best gift ever. You're the tree of life. I was lost, now I am found.